This video is about the 3 key things that you need to know before choosing your uni. I'm Rob Malicki and this is Choosing Your Uni, the channel which is all about that decision you have to make which uni you're going to go and study at. You know, you're going to spend tens of thousands of dollars going to university and years of your life, more importantly, so you want to make sure you get that decision right. This is the resource for you. By the end of this video, you're going to be feeling a lot more confident and comfortable with making a decision about choosing an institution. You know what, I've been in higher education for 20 years and I've helped literally tens of thousands of students making important decisions about what they're going to do with university and career. So I think we're going to have some good information in this video. And while we do it, we're going to be exploring Bunbury, which is a couple of 100 kilometres south of Perth in Western Australia. This place is spectacular, so let's go and have a walk around and talk about those 3 key things. How good is this?
Yeah, it's awesome.
Well, the first thing, and I really wish that I'd known this when I was choosing my university, is that you've got time. And when I say time, I don't mean so much you've got time in order to make the decision. Like, yes, that's important, of course, and yes, you do have some of that, but most importantly, like, you've got time in your life. Whether you're 20 or 30 or 40 or even 50 and going in as a very mature age student into uni, so what? Life is long and there's so much pressure, particularly on young people, to make a choice and feel like they've gotten that choice right. Here's the reality. You can get that wrong time and time again and you've still got time left in order to move on and do something new and different. Particularly for young people, you know, when you are finishing up high school and, you know, going into that first phase of your life where you're making decisions for yourself, really for the first time without parental influence or without, you know, parent taking responsibility for the decision, we feel like we've got to get it right. The reality is that everybody makes tons of mistakes in their life and you've got time to like make that right and do that better. So don't stress. If you make the wrong decision, you've got plenty of time. The second thing, which also relates a little bit to time, is you've got plenty of time and you can always change. We feel like these big decisions in our life are so permanent, but it's not true. We're only bound by like our own imaginations. And you know, when I was finishing up uni, I'd met this guy that at the age of 30, I thought that was ancient back then, had just finished off doing, oh no, he was old, he was like 35, had just finished off doing his medical internships and he was becoming a doctor. And he'd basically gone to uni to start with, and I can't remember what degree he'd done to begin with, I think something like music. And what had happened is that he decided after he'd finished that degree that he didn't want to do music, but he actually wanted to study medicine. And so at 26, he'd gone back and started his medical degree. And then at 35, he was qualifying as a doctor. And so what? Like 35 is still pretty freaking young, right? You can always change direction. You can always choose something new. So if you get this decision wrong, don't stress. You can always change degrees or universities or do something completely different altogether. The third thing you really need to know is a key fact, which is 1/3 of people will never work in the discipline in which they studied. And so by that, I mean, take me as an example. I did a Bachelor of Science as an undergraduate degree and have never worked in science. Does that matter? No, in fact, it tells us a couple of different things. The first one is that regardless of what you study, you're going to learn important information and particularly skills at university that will serve you really well in other parts of life. So don't stress that you have to get this decision right straight away. You're still going to learn something valuable that will serve you well downstream. And I think the most important thing is that extracurricular activities at university are super important. And so the stuff that you choose to do at university but outside of your actual degree area are as important as the degree itself. Think about it. Employers these days want to see that you've got particular skills, that you can be flexible and adaptable and all that kind of stuff. Where do you get those skills from? Well, you get those from not just in class, but you get them in the extracurricular activities you do. Leadership programs, volunteering, international studies, etc., etc. There are plenty of ways that you can get extra skills and experience at uni. And I've got a whole video on that topic up here, which you can watch. It's critical when you're choosing your university that you consider what sorts of things you might do outside the classroom. So make sure you check out that video. I'm going to give you a bonus. There is a fourth thing that I think is critical that you need to know before choosing your university, and that is that there are so many great people out there to guide you on this journey. It's important for you to make the decisions. You are in charge of your own life. But there are great people out there to provide you support and advice. Once you're at uni, there are PASS programs, so peer-assisted study sessions, run by students in later years, more advanced students, to help students in their first years. Amazing mentoring and advice. There's this whole channel, Choosing Your Uni, which is just here to support you with information and advice about making this decision. And in fact, in that regard, if you go to our website, choosingyouruni.com, link is down below, you'll find a whole guide, a definitive guide to choosing your uni. You don't have to do this alone. There are plenty of people who've got great experience who just want to help you out there. Make sure you use them.